I recently converted my HPI Hellfire SS to brushless electric, and there's really not many videos of this online or a lot of info on converting the Hellfire to brushless. I mean, there's not really any kits out there, so I figured I'd make a video. For the motor mount, well, first obviously I gutted all the Nitro parts, and for the motor mount it's a HPI Trophy Truggy Flux motor mount. It's a really close fit. The holes have to be moved a little bit, the mounting holes, but not a whole lot. And it also has to be raised up, or your spur gear is going to be hanging out below the chassis. I just used 3 small washers underneath the chassis. Also the front drive shaft, I actually had to lengthen it. I put a sleeve of tubing over it, because if you didn't lengthen it, it's going to pop out a lot. Once you take all the Nitro parts out, you're going to need to brace the chassis, and I had to think a little while how to do this without taking up room, and I eventually came up with these aluminum rods. They run from front to back, and they make the chassis nice and rigid. They have Revo rod ends, holes drilled through these original braces, and it helps a lot. This thing is rock solid now. Right now for the battery tray, I'm just using one off of an axial Wraith. I don't like it because it gets dirt in it, but eventually I'm going to build something new, probably out of Lexan. I'm running the hobbywing XE run, 1800 kV censored motor. I like the XE runs. They're a little bit cheaper than the other brands, but they appear to be pretty good quality so far. A Savox servo takes care of the steering, aluminum servo horn. I'm running on a Airtronics MT4 radio. People complained that when these came out, the Hellfires, that the diffs were weak, and yeah, I agree with them. I blew 2 or 3 diffs back when it was Nitro, and the Nitro doesn't have the same torque as electric, so I knew I had to prepare for that. So I installed Sen GST diffs. These things, the gears on the GST diffs are like double the size of the Hellfire. I mean, they could probably handle the torque of a gasoline engine. So I'm not worried anymore about blowing diffs. Besides that, there's not a whole lot on this truck that needs to be upgraded to handle the electric. I locked the center diff, so it's more like a monster truck now, because I'm never racing the thing, so I don't really need a center diff. I think that's about it. Just had to make the chassis brace. You got to put a radio tray. You got to cut the Nitro upper top plate. Usually that goes back here and around, but you need to make room for the motor and the electronics, so you got to cut that out. And lengthen the front drive shaft. Put stronger diffs in it. That's about it. I want to get a running video of this eventually, but the weather hasn't been very good. But hopefully soon. And these trucks, once you put better diffs in them, these are really great trucks. They weren't super popular, but it's probably my favorite RC of all time, and I've owned, I don't know, 40 plus trucks. This one's always treated me well. I haven't broken much at all on it, but that's how, if you got one laying around, that's how you convert it to electric and make it reliable. Hope I get a running video soon.